to stop mass surveillance. And today we're delivering 575,000 signatures. We demand a congressional investigation and reform to the laws that the NSA uses to conduct these surveillance programs, both the Patriot Act and the FAA, and we will hold our public officials accountable. So we're glad to be able to deliver this to Congressman Amash. This is our freedom. Stop watching us.
Hey everyone, how you doing? Let me take this mic up here.
You're the man.
So I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Because you are making a difference.
So are you.
You deserve the credit. We had an Amash amendment that came up a couple months ago. That was on the Defense Appropriations Bill. I teamed up with John Conyers. And this isn't a partisan issue. This is for Republicans and Democrats, Libertarians, Conservatives, Liberals, everyone in between. And I have to tell you that when we were fighting for that Amash amendment and we took to the House floor and had that debate, that was the proudest moment for me as an elected official. We brought Republicans together and Democrats together to speak on that amendment. We only had 7.5 minutes. That's the debate time they gave us, 7.5 minutes, to talk about one of the most important issues facing our country, facing the world. But we split it up between, I think, 11, 12 people on both sides of the aisle. And I got to tell you that afterwards, after we had that debate, people were saying congratulations. People were proud of what we had done, even though we hadn't had the vote yet. And when the vote came down, it was close. It scared people. It scared the establishment in both parties. We had the President of the United States fighting against the amendment. It was the first time during his administration that he came out in opposition to an amendment. They actually released a statement from the White House. We had the intelligence community against it. We had Republican leadership against it. We had Democratic leadership against it. And despite all those obstacles, we came very close to passing the Amash Conyers amendment. And we're going to keep fighting, and we're going to pass something to rein in the NSA. But let me tell you, the NSA is fighting back. The establishment is fighting back. What they're doing right here in Washington, D.C., I read something in the paper the other day that the NSA wants us to pass CISPA. Yeah, right. Clearly you guys have heard of CISPA, the Cyber Intelligence Sharing and Protection Act. And the way CISPA is written, the NSA believes it will legalize what they are currently doing illegally. Now, of course, we know that's nonsense. The Constitution makes what they're doing illegal. You can't pass a statute to undo the Constitution. They think they can. But what they're trying to do with CISPA is ensure that companies can give their customer information or employee information to the government with no repercussions. So even if you have a contract with a company you do business with or an employer, that contract means nothing under CISPA. The government can access all of your information if that company decides they're going to give it to the government.
No, thank you.
And on top of it, CISPA outlaws the ability for companies to guarantee the privacy of customers and employees. It actually outlaws it. How do I know this? Because I offered an amendment. I offered an amendment that simply said Companies should be allowed to guarantee through contract your privacy. And they wouldn't let me bring my amendment to the floor. So we have to keep fighting on this issue. But let me tell you, one of the people who stood up with me on the House floor fighting in support of reining in the NSA was Jim Sensenbrenner. Now, it's important to note that Jim Sensenbrenner wrote the Patriot Act, but he has realized the kind of abuse that has happened under the Patriot Act, and he's working with us. I actually went into his office when I was pushing the Amash Conyers amendment. I said I wanted to meet with him so that I could convince him to support the amendment. And I got to his office, and when I got there, he said, "I know you're here to tell me about your amendment. I'm going to support it." And then he spent about 20 to 30 minutes telling me why it was so important to pass the Amash Conyers amendment. So, thank God for Jim Sensenbrenner, who spoke on the House floor in favor of my amendment, who is now bringing a bill to the House floor, the USA Freedom Act, to undo much of the damage of the Patriot Act. So this is something we're going to be working on. It's going to be introduced very soon. We need you to speak up, to stand up, to call your representatives. I can't tell you how much of a difference it makes when you call people in Congress. It makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. When people hear that their constituents are calling them, it changes their minds. I can't tell you how many times I'm on the House floor and members of Congress are just talking to each other about how many constituents called them about a particular issue. It makes a difference. I know you might not feel that, but it does make a difference. So please, please call your members of Congress. Let them know how you feel about these issues. Let them know how you feel about the Patriot Act. Let them know how much you dislike it. And let them know you support the USA Freedom Act. So with that, I want to say thank you. I appreciate what you're doing here today. Keep fighting the fight. I'll keep fighting for you in Congress, and we're going to make a difference. So thank you.